This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm coming at you with another video. And in this video, I will be talking about how no contact has helped improve my life. Now, going no contact is not easy. You know, when you put yourself in a self isolation type of situation from the majority of people that you probably associated with or people that you knew that weren't good for you, but you've chosen to end the relationship with those people, sometimes it can be hard because you get used to having that connection, and then you have feelings of loneliness, feelings of feeling abandoned and ostracized, and feeling like I'm missing out on life, especially if I was to go on social media and see that same group enjoying themselves and doing things together, and knowing that I used to be participating in that, and knowing that I'm not doing that at the current time and I need to focus on myself. So sometimes I have to understand that I'm gonna have those feelings. And I also have to battle with thoughts of feeling like I'm unlovable or unlikable because the people that I tried to establish relationships with, it just didn't work out the way that I thought it would work out. And I know that there are some individuals that might feel a certain negative way about me, and I might feel the same way about them. And the best thing for us to do is to keep our distance from each other, just so we won't have any bad blood. And I will say that when I first started using no contact, it was being used against me first. And what I mean is that I had to endure false narratives and lies about me through people that knew me, and understanding that people knew people within the community that I lived in, and all these false rumors and these false thoughts about me just permeated, and people chose to accept it and agree with it because the majority agree with it. It's kind of like it's not a republic, it was more like a democracy, or majority rules. And like, if the majority of people feel this way, and even if a minority might not feel that way, they're going to go with the majority because, hey, that's what it is. This person is seen as being a bad person, so we're going to go with this negative and false narrative about him. And I had people tell women terrible things about me, and those women believed those things about me. And I remember sometimes I had conversations and it'd be cordial and it'd be pleasant with the person, and then one day they'd act like I wasn't even there. Like they would give me the 1,000-mile stare, like I was just invisible, you know, like I didn't matter. And I didn't understand what was going on, why I was being treated like that, but I had to just understand that that's what was going on. And then I had to understand that there were some people that were deliberately doing it against me because they wanted to create scarcity in my life. So I would have to settle for somebody that I wasn't attracted to at all, because this is the person that they wanted me to be with. And they wanted to limit any opportunity that I may have had to overcome that situation. So they used everything they could against me in order to keep me by myself, so I would have um, a scarcity mindset, and then I would give up and I would do what it is that they wanted. But what hurt me the most was when I figured out that there were some family members that were involved, and they probably wasn't directly involved, but when they say things negative about me to other people, and they make it seem like I'm just a horrible individual, that I'm not doing what it is that I'm supposed to do, I don't want to help out anybody, that I'm lazy. It made that negative thought about me even stronger within the community. And so I had to just overcome that. And when I first realized it like I was angry, like I was furious, and I was hurt. But then I had to understand that there may have been somebody that was hurt by my rejection to them because I wasn't attracted to them, or the situation that they found themselves in. And I had to realize that it was nothing that I could do about it. I had to understand that it was a blessing in disguise. And the reason why I say it was a blessing in disguise is because it gave me the opportunity to have moments of clarity where I stopped focusing on other people, where I was forced to focus on myself and my situation. And it was difficult. And I'm not going to lie about that. I had to figure out what I had to change about myself. And I had to change how I thought about women. Like I had to admit that a part of me tried too hard when it came to women. Um, it made me awkward. And it wasn't just with women, it was like with any type of relationships that I was involved in. Like it was something that was taught to me when I was younger that I was supposed to go above and beyond for everybody else. But then the older I got, the more that people didn't see the need to be reciprocal of me giving my all to them. Like they'll look at me and be like, "Oh, he's supposed to do that. That's his job," or "He put himself in that situation. Nobody told him to do all that." And it's the truth. And I didn't understand that people, like some people, naturally and normally would take advantage of those that go above and beyond for other people, especially if they don't have any obligation to pay that person back. They just gonna take as much as they can without giving anything until the resource runs out, and then they try to look for another sucker so they can suck on. You know, I mean, and that's what it is. And I had to change how I treated women. And I'm not saying that I'm going to treat women bad or anything like that, because nobody deserves to be treated bad. Even the women that I don't find myself attracted to, they don't deserve to be treated bad. I'm still supposed to treat them cordially. If I find somebody that I am attracted to, I'm supposed to treat them cordially, without any expectations of anything happening. And if I decide that I want to pursue it, that's what I'll do. But if I get rejected, I have to accept it 100% and don't look back, you know, and just treat it just like that. And also, I know that I'm not going to allow myself to be a male orbiter. I'm not going to be that guy that she uses as an emotional tampon because she has issues going on in her life about the men that she choose to deal with. But when things don't go her way with those men, she come to me as somebody that I listen to her, give her advice, be a shoulder to cry on, and is giving me that false sense that maybe she would give me a chance one day, when honestly she never will, because if she wanted to give me a chance, she would have been gave me a chance. She wouldn't put me in a position where I would be a friend like that. And I know there are some men that find themselves in that situation, and a very small percentage of them actually overcome that to get to the next step, but it's very hard and it's very difficult to do. And majority of the time, and I'm saying about at least 95% of the time, that relationship that relationship is not going to happen. No matter what you do, no matter how much effort you put in, it is what it is. It's just like if I was to, you know, smash a woman that I knew that I didn't want to be with long term. But in her mind, she's thinking, well, if I give him this, maybe he'll start to like me and, consider giving me a long term relationship, how I actually want, even though I'm going along with the he doesn't want a relationship vibe. And majority of the time, it doesn't work out. And it all it does is repel that person from her. And the same thing with that male orbiter. Like if he tried to overcome that boundary that she put upon him, all it's going to do is push her away, because she already established what it was from the beginning. And you have no choice but to respect that. Either you respect it and you deal with it, or you respect it and you leave her alone. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just like that. And people don't have to like it. People don't have to love it, but it is what it is. And then I had to learn how not to beg for relationships, friendships, or being close with some family members. Like I had to accept reality for what it was, with not looking at things for how I think it should be, but looking at things for how it is in realistic terms. And even if I don't like how it is realistically, I have to accept that that's how it is realistically, because I wouldn't like it if somebody wouldn't respect the boundaries that they put on, you know, I wouldn't like it if somebody saw the boundaries that I put out and they would try to overcome those boundaries. Like, I have to respect other people's boundaries just like I would want them to respect mine. And what it is looking at reality for what it is, not looking at it for how I would like it to be, not looking at it in a fairy tale type of way, not looking at it as, oh, if I work hard and I do this and do that, things will change. Like, no, things come naturally. You know what I'm saying? And I had to understand that if no woman is checking for me, then that means no woman is checking for me. And I can't lie to myself about that. And there might be women checking for me, but either they don't think that I'm good enough to where they would approach me with it, or they think that, and in most terms, they're correct. They think that their lives and their situations is too messed up for me to accept. And it is what it is. Like, if you think that I'm out of your league, more than likely that's true. But then sometimes women are like, I like this guy. I know that he would like me, but I'm afraid to make that step. Or he probably like me only just for like a fling, but he doesn't want a real serious relationship, and I really need a real serious relationship. And it's all about understanding where a person is in life and what it is that they're willing to do and what they're not willing to do. Like, when I talk to a woman here in the States, one thing that I do is like, we'll have a conversation or whatever. If I like her, I give her my number, but I tell her that she's gonna have to text me or call me first. Like, me coming to her and then like having that conversation, it already showed that I had interest in her. But I refuse to be that guy that turns into a male orbiter, or somebody that's not taking the hints that she doesn't really want to be involved with me. And I take that as she doesn't really want to be involved with me and be serious with me if she's not willing to give me that first text. And I understand that there's some women that say, I never text a guy first. Like, he has to come to me first. I mean, and that's what you want to do, or that's how you operate. But you can't tell me how I'm supposed to operate. And I don't care if it leaves me more limited than what I am currently, because I'm at this point to where I'm okay with being by myself. And then with that being said, it gives me a chance to be okay with being alone while working on myself. And while I'm working on myself, there's goals that I have, there's plans that I have. I'm keeping myself busy. And I'm not going to say that every goal that I had I've accomplished. Like, I've taken some L's within these past few years of me working on changing my life. I took some L's and I had to accept those L's, but I've also had small victories. And I'm grateful for those small victories. The L's, it's just like an opportunity that I lost is nothing more than setting up a greater opportunity in the future. And that's the way that I choose to look at things. And some people might not look at it like that, but I really don't care. Like, I'm tired of stressing myself about not meeting a certain standard of what everybody else think that I should meet. And I only have responsibility to myself at this point. And that's a wonderful thing. Like, not being in a relationship, not having any children, like, I'm only responsible for myself at this point. And I know that as a young adult into my early adulthood and coming into what it is that I consider middle age now, like, I looked out for certain family members. Like, I was always there for them. Like, I was constantly doing things for them. And now that I've slowed down on that stuff and just focusing more on myself, like, not totally cutting them off, like, I understand that they might feel a certain way. But at the same time, I'm not stressed out about it, because I need to focus on myself and get myself fully whole. And I understand that they might be older in age and they might have things that they need, but at the same time, I'm preparing myself to when I get to their age where I won't be in need. And that's more important than anything else. If I can't help myself, how can I help anybody else? And I had to accept the distance that was given to me while cutting off toxic people. And there were toxic people that were around me, and they might have been positive to other people, but they were negative towards me. And if I can't deal with that negativity, I have to get away from it. It doesn't matter if I lose other friends along with them because I'm not trying to deal with that negativity. You see what I'm saying? That's up to me to whether or not I'm going to allow certain people in my life. If I understand that they bring a negative energy to me while being cool and cordial to everybody else, that means that that person has an issue with me, and I don't need to be around that situation. You know what I'm saying? If I have to be by myself, that's what it is. And I had to not be scared of retaliation. That's what the women that I've left, with groups of organizations that I've been a part of, that I've distanced myself from. Like, I was at one point concerned that somebody would try to retaliate against me for distancing myself, but it's been over, I would say, it's been about 2 years fully that I've done like a really hard line separation. And nobody has done anything to me at this point. So I'm not worried about those individuals. I'm only worried about getting myself together at this point. And with that being said, I had to think about, there were two women um, within the past few years that I was actually like involved with. One of them, she didn't want to take care of herself. She always wanted to drink. She always wanted to stay drunk. I knew she wasn't good for me, and she also wanted to have a lot of males around her doing stuff for her that she was either, having sex with without telling me or stringing them along. And I didn't want to live like that. I didn't want that type of attitude. And I knew that she was still in love with the guy that she had her child with. So I knew that it wasn't a good situation, but she wanted me to commit to her while she had all this dysfunction going on in her life. And eventually I had to cut her off. And then I had another woman who wanted to be married, but she's polyamorous and bisexual. What type of sense does that make? Like, seriously. Like, I understand that women have rights and abilities in this society. And if you want to be bisexual and polyamorous, that's good. That's great on you. But how is it that you expect a man to want to be committed to you in a relationship with you when you have all that going on? Maybe there are men out here that will accept that, but you cannot make a man that you understand that he isn't down with that. You cannot force that man to do what it is that you want him to do. And that's me standing up for myself. That's what I mean by the no contact. It's helping me with my personal self esteem. It's helping me with establishing the boundaries that I need to establish. And it's helping me with accepting the boundaries that other people has placed on me. And it's allowing me not to be used by anyone. And I'm working on getting myself whole again, not only mentally, but spiritually, emotionally, financially, uh, physically, and socially. And I don't have to, do it at the pace that anybody else think that I should do it at. I can do it at my own pace. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I wanted to go faster, I'm not going to put pressure on myself because of the outside expectations of how other people perceive me to be so called a loser, even though I'm doing the best that I possibly can at this time. I mean, like, I'm doing what it is that I can do. Now, am I always constantly working on a way to overcome it? Yes. But if those ways doesn't work, I'm not going to stress myself about it. I'm going to take those L's in private and then figure out another way. And then if I have to wait, I'm going to wait. I'm going to stack up. I'm going to do what it is that I need to do in order to be is in the best position that I can be in currently until I make it to that point to where I can make that next move. And that's where I'm at with it. So even though this no contact thing has been rough, and I'm not going to lie and say that it hasn't, it has been rough. It's been the best thing for me, and it's been teaching me a lot more discipline, and it's been teaching me, you know, to appreciate my time more. Like, my time is valuable. Like, I had a woman on a date tell me her time was valuable, even though I was spending my money on her. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at it like, okay, your time is valuable and you don't like me, but I just wasted my money on you. So that means that I didn't value my time correctly. And that's how I took it. Like, now I'm like, man, I have to value my time correctly. I have to value my personal space. Like, people have to earn the right to be around me. And I know that there's some individuals that have known me throughout the years. When they hear me say something like that, they probably laughing at themselves like, oh, who does guy think he is? Well, I'm me. I'm just Bob Bowman, you know? And just like you feel like you're valuable in society, I have the right to feel like I'm valuable in society as well. And I am valuable because if I wasn't valuable, I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't have a place to stay. I wouldn't have food to eat. I wouldn't have clothes on my back. And trust and believe, the clothes that you see me on here when I do these videos, like, that's not my best clothing. But at the same token, I'm not doing this to impress anybody. I'm doing this to not only heal myself and to have a journal through video to show me healing, but to also, if somebody is scrolling and somebody happened to run into my page, um, they could learn something from it. It can help them out. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main reason why I do stuff like this. And to the people out here, and I don't know if they'll ever hear this, but the people out here that, put boundaries on me, that made life difficult for me, that made me isolated and ostracized, I want to thank you. And I also want to apologize for getting angry with you, because at the end of the day, what you did was help me. You helped me focus on myself and do what it is that I needed to do in order to improve my personal situation. Because regardless of how you think about me, you have to respect the fact that I said that I wasn't going to allow myself to be treated a certain way. I wasn't going to allow myself to be forced into relationships that I didn't want to be in. And it held true throughout this storm. So, with that being said, this is just Bob Bowman. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm out.